Welcome to On the Table. I'm Betty Shepard.
And I'm Kevin Seidenstricker.
So what is our show about today?
Well, Betty, as you know, our show is always about the title, What's on the Table?
Absolutely.
And normally I think we like to talk about things that can attribute to our health and well-being,
True.
right? Whether it's exercising, stretching, food, beverages, good nutrition.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes. And of course, there's going to be a surprise
In the box.
in the box.
Which is on the table.
Absolutely.
I love that. I can't wait to see in our next segment what you've got in store for us.
I know it's going
on
to
the
be
box.
very good. I think you're going to enjoy it.
I can't wait to see it. And I know, of course, it's going to be aligned with our motto,
Of keep it simple and simplistic.
simplistic, right?
Right. And we're going to talk about this book too, aren't we?
Yeah, we sure are. And we'll talk about the author in the next segment and what's inside of it. But just in short, great information here for daily eating where we can't be at home
Okay.
to take advantage of the good shopping that we've done for the healthy and nutritional foods. So when we're out and about, this is going to be very important. I can't wait to talk about this.
I love that. And yes, Kevin, the calorie, fat, and carbohydrate counter book is what we're going to talk about.
That's a mouthful.
It is.
Calorie, fat, and carbohydrate counter.
Oh,
say
I
that
like
5
it.
times real fast.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
Can't wait.
I
Yeah.
love that. I think that's a great idea.
Well, I'm excited.
Yes,
I'm
it's
excited.
going to be a good show.
I think so.
All right. We're going to take a break. Welcome back.
So, Betty, what now do we have on the table?
I know.
Wow.
I always got something on the table.
You do. No, we always have the box, but
We always have
what
the
is all
box.
this stuff? What do we
Yeah.
have here?
These are beautiful bottles
They are.
that people generally either may throw away
Mm-hmm.
or they may get them as gifts, which would be the ideal way to receive them
You
because
bet.
they could be kind of expensive if you bought these for yourself.
Yeah, I can see that.
But once it's consumed,
Mm-hmm.
what's in the bottle,
Sure.
then you can actually take this bottle, which is wonderful. By the way, this particular bottle, which is so beautiful, actually has Egyptian
carving kind of.
around it.
Yeah.
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah, very cool.
And what you can do is, and again, at the dollar store,
Mm-hmm.
get food coloring
Yeah,
in a pack,
yeah.
and also you would get this vanilla flavoring, this
Nice.
vanilla oil,
Nice.
and you would pour some of this oil in here.
Mhm.
Well, first of all, you're going to fill this with hot water,
Okay.
and then you're going to put the food coloring in,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're going to add a little of this
A little
aroma.
aromatherapy going on. I like it.
Kevin, the
Vanilla,
it is
lilac.
so- any fragrance that you want,
Wow.
and you just leave that top off,
Mm-hmm.
and whenever you're done, you just put it back on, and you've got this beautiful decoration.
I can imagine that aroma is going to fill a room
It's absolutely going to fill
for
the room.
days until it's evaporated.
And you can see it comes in sizes. So you know what? If you're going to go out for the weekend,
Mhm.
how about taking one of the small ones?
Great idea.
You can pack that
Sure.
and set it up in the room. Wouldn't that be
That is a great
fun?
idea. Yeah, because
That
some of
would
those
be
hotel
fun.
rooms can be a little.
Yes,
Yeah.
a little fragrant.
Sure.
So do that, and it just makes a nice gift as well.
Decorative.
Very decorative.
Yeah.
So again, you're not spending a lot of money, but if you get it as a gift, or if you just get it for a special occasion,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
It's a nice way to not only save money,
Mm-hmm.
decorate, but just the spiritual calm and
Mhm.
peace that you feel.
Yeah. Giving to somebody and recycling.
Recycling.
Great.
I mean, this bottle could last a long time.
Oh, sure. Until I accidentally knock it off the table.
I was going to say that.
Well, let's keep it on. Let's keep it on the table.
I actually was going to say that because that's how we've lost some of our bottles
I'm
in our
sure.
home. Little accidents. We
I
had
can
company and everybody is,
Yeah.
upset that they've broken
the
our bottle.
Oh, well.
But at the same
Replaceable.
time, how replaceable is this?
That's right. So what else is on the table here?
What else is on the table is this little gizmo here.
This looks like a 4th of July festive.
Right.
Could be anything, right?
Right.
A wedding table centerpiece or
Right.
birthday, whatever.
And again, something else you can make in any color.
Mhm. Now, what do you have in here?
That's what I was going to do next.
Oh, really?
Remember my box? My
I
famous
do.
box?
I do.
Live
Love
in
it.
the moment.
That's right.
Also from the dollar store.
I can't wait to
For
see what's in
$1.
there.
Well, let me show you what's in here today. I have all of these beautiful rocks and crystals. As a matter of fact, let me move
Oh,
this
wow.
down
Yeah, let's move
here.
that over here. Nice.
And you can take these different rocks and actually you would put those
Use
on the
them
bottom
in
of this.
Okay.
And you would actually create a paperweight.
Okay. Now, where can you get this foil and some of
Again.
these things? Dollar store.
Really?
Of course.
Really?
Did I have to ask? Yeah.
And where do we get the rocks?
Well, let's see. Walking through the woods while we're getting exercise and fresh air.
Absolutely. Look at how beautiful these are.
Yeah. Wow.
This rock, this black one,
Uh-huh.
actually came from a volcano.
No kidding. It
How
looks,
about that?
It looks
and look at how
volcanic.
smooth that is.
Yeah.
And look
that's
at the
been,
textures. And how old are these rocks?
Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years old.
It could be millions of years old.
Sure.
And
Sure.
so you're actually holding history in your hand.
And you know, I would imagine after an earthquake at sea, some of these
Yes.
things would actually be washed up on shore.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, so economical. Look at this beautiful crystal.
That is beautiful. Now, is this amethyst?
That's amethyst. And guess what?
What?
That's my birthstone.
That's my mother's birthstone.
Oh, how about
Swear to
that?
God, funny you would mention that. This is really beautiful. Now,
Isn't it?
what kind of energy would come from something like this?
Well, you know, again, healing.
Yeah?
People don't know that there's healing power in these stones and these crystals.
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of that energy comes from the sun, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
So you could put these outside and gather some
Think
sun
about
energy.
putting them right in your window.
Oh, that'd be pretty.
Wouldn't that be pretty?
Sure.
So that it, again, decorates your home.
Yeah.
So when people walking by, they see something like that.
Sure, that is really pretty.
And that energy coming in
Mhm.
is fantastic.
That is really something.
And it's
Wow.
actually, some of these crystals have been proven to really help people with heart.
Sure. Like
With-
the rose color, I think, is in,
Yeah.
yeah.
Look at that.
Wow, that is
Isn't
pretty.
that pretty?
Huh.
I'm telling you, these are just
Very,
beautiful.
very awesome.
Here's the yellow.
And you know, I know I've mentioned before that I'm from Southwest Missouri.
Right.
And from that area is years of mining.
Okay.
And they have all sorts of crystal
Okay.
that
Oh,
they've.
wow, of course.
Yeah, that's come from that area. But yeah, so very pretty stones that
Yeah.
can be dug up.
Look at this one. This is kind of
looks
layered.
looks like a piece of dessert.
It does.
It's like something I'd want to eat.
Okay, Kevin.
You would recommend that?
We're not gonna eat the
Okay.
rocks. I know we used to do some of that when we were younger and playing in the
Sure.
dirt.
I double dog dare you.
Yeah, we would do stuff
Right,
like that. It
right.
wasn't very good for us, but these are absolutely beautiful.
And now then you can use these things
Right,
in your little gift.
absolutely.
Again, different colors of foil for the different
Absolutely.
seasons.
And think about it. These would make beautiful gifts
Absolutely.
for someone.
Yeah,
And you can buy a larger box
sure.
and actually put several items in it
Great idea.
and present it to people for the holiday.
You know, that's going to beat anything that I could buy online or at a store.
Absolutely.
It's $50, $100.
Absolutely.
This is very
I mean,
simple.
think about it. This is, if you can get the bottle for free,
Mhm.
and there are a lot of wealthy people who they throw away these kind of
Oh,
things.
sure.
And wouldn't that be nice to just start collecting these over
Mm-hmm.
the months and years? And then anytime a special occasion came up,
Yeah. Pull one out of the
you
closet,
could pull one out, dust it off.
fix it up. Yeah, sure.
If you're not using it. Yeah, the thrift shops are another great resource.
No kidding.
Oh my gosh, I was at the thrift store. They had the most beautiful bowl. It was 50 cents.
Wow.
50
Wow.
cents.
So a lot of those decorative, whether they're decanters or expensive bottles that people have just,
Absolutely.
through an
They give
estate
them away.
sale,
Yeah, absolutely.
some kind of a spring house cleaning, they all go to these thrift stores.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So you're picking up the rocks and the crystals as you're walking, as
That's
you're
great.
enjoying nature,
Wow.
as you're exercising,
Sure.
which is what we stress here,
Yeah.
to keep it simple
We
and
do
simplistic.
emphasize that. Yeah. These are really awesome ideas.
Right.
Simple and simplistic.
Yes.
That's
And
our show.
Absolutely. We're going to take a break.
All right.
And so,
I love this.
welcome back.
Hey, everybody.
I think you're going to really enjoy this. I
think so.
You're going to tell us about this book.
Sure. This book is written by the Calorie King, Alan Borashek.
Yes.
Look, it's got a picture right here, or at least inside. And this is such a convenient book to carry anywhere you go outside the house.
Yes, you can put it in your purse, keep it in the car.
You bet.
Absolutely.
I know when we're on the road, we're out and about town, and we don't
Yes.
make it home for our meals.
Right.
Almost any restaurant, I would almost say every restaurant, unless it's emerged in the last 6 months, is going to have their nutritional information
Yes.
in this book written by Alan Borashek.
Right.
And it introduces a list, all of that menu's nutritional information.
Right.
Calories, total calories from fat, saturated, unsaturated fats, sugars, carbohydrates.
Right.
All of that is for every food that's on every menu in practically any restaurant you can think of. Think of a fast food restaurant, Betty.
McDonald's is the most popular one that I know of.
McDonald's. And so you mentioned one of those restaurants we thought about. Now, there are a lot of diets out there
Yes, there
where
are.
you can't always carry that nutritional information with you, but that you'll find in almost all the restaurants that are listed in Alan's book here.
Okay.
So, for instance, the Atkins diet. Remember,
Oh, I remember
almost
that
a decade, 15 years ago is when the
Yes.
Atkins diet first came out. And the premise of that diet was high protein,
Right.
low carbohydrate. So no breads, especially white breads, sugars, flour. So I knew a lot of guys who they might go to a fast food restaurant and get the big double, triple burger, but they'd take off all the cheese. And actually, they might leave the cheese, but they'd take off all the buns.
Right.
They'd scrape a lot of stuff
Oh,
off
that's a good
and just
idea.
have the beef.
Right.
Steak, anything high protein was always good. Of course, there's vegetables that are good in protein
Right.
too. But the Atkins diet, for example, all that nutritional information can be found in this book.
And that's really good. And one of the things that I wanted to go back to with McDonald's
Mm-hmm.
that they're doing is they're now offering healthy choices.
Isn't that great?
I actually took my niece to
Mm-hmm.
McDonald's and was pleasantly surprised that on the kids menu,
Mm-hmm.
instead of fries, they could get apple slices.
That's great.
Instead of soda, they could get apple juice.
Very smart.
And I love that. I thought that was so great. And kids like apple juice
Mm-hmm.
and they like fruit. So why not give them those options
That's
rather
right.
than the things that are not good for you? And again, if you're forced to go with friends, look for those healthy choices. For example, for breakfast, they now have oatmeal and they also have yogurt with
That's right.
fruit.
That's right.
And it's, as a matter of fact, it's $1 for the fruit.
Well, and
Yogurt.
it can be in any restaurant. It doesn't have to be a fast food restaurant.
Right.
It can be a very well-defined food chain.
Right.
Whether it's, whatever the price of the menu is, there's some of those restaurants that I just try to stay away from because I know if I walk in the door,
Yes.
I'm going to be bad.
Right.
You can't avoid it. I'm going to be bad. So at least if I have something like this with me as a
Right.
pocket
You-
reference.
And you know what? Whenever I look at that book
Uh-huh.
and I see the number of calories that are in that
Yeah.
sandwich,
Yeah.
it really is a deterrent for me.
It's like sticker shock on a
Yes,
car lot,
it's
right?
like, do I really want to do this?
Yeah.
And so I really love that they have the salads now.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the salads that are the chicken salads that are so good.
Yeah.
And I love anything with raisins and apples, and
Yep.
so they're making some very good, healthy choices in
The
their
offers,
menu now.
yeah.
not only that, but the menu actually has the calorie counts on it.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, when you look at the McDonald's sign, when you're looking at what you're going to order, right next to it has the calories.
Yeah, so many of those restaurants have that out there now. So
what a
once
great
you've
idea.
done just a little bit of research
Absolutely.
and done some comparison between the different types of foods,
Right.
you build up your own knowledge base of, generally speaking, you don't always have to know the exact numbers,
Mm-hmm.
but generally what this is going to cost me in terms of calories and
Right.
fats and carbs. And
Right.
once you have that knowledge base, then you can make general, well-informed decisions.
You can make very good choices.
Yeah, you're right.
And you can make them in a way that is going to not only save you money,
Mm-hmm.
but improve your health.
Absolutely. And you talked about going to those restaurants with friends.
Yes.
They can be influenced by your decisions as well.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
Why not teach them some of the things that we're learning
You bet.
and what you're learning here?
What we try to do on the show.
What we try to do on the show, which is
Yeah.
keep it simple.
And simplistic.
Absolutely. That is absolutely the key to this whole show is
Yeah.
keeping it simple and simplistic
It is.
and teaching others about how to make healthy choices.
Right. And with things like the books that we always talk about,
Right.
the recipes we always introduce.
Absolutely.
Sure. Sharing these things is just a way for us and you all viewing out there to share those with your friends, your family, your neighbors. And
Right.
educate each other.
And I don't know if you know this, but they're also doing the same thing in the schools.
They are. That's right.
Did
I
you
saw a
hear
show
that?
yesterday on this. Yes. Sure did.
They absolutely are talking about making healthier choices on the school menus,
That's right.
which is
That's right.
wonderful. So I had heard at one school they were actually taking the soda machine out of the school.
Good.
What a great thing to do, because kids today consume so much soda.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable.
And healthy choices start at home.
A good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
If you're not teaching your children how to make healthy choices, now's the time to start.
You bet. You bet.
Now is the time to start.
Whether you're 80, 40, or 10 years old.
Right, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because we really want to reduce the obesity in our children today
Absolutely.
and get them moving. So what better way to do that than start with what you're putting on your table?
I like
Right?
it. I like it.
I mean, that
Very
really is
awesome.
what it's about.
Sure.
What are you putting on your table?
Sure, and in your mouth. And I was also going to say, Betty, that the reason I think counting calories is important is just so that we know what that caloric intake is going to be
Yeah.
for every choice that we make.
Right?
It's just smart to have a good idea of what that caloric intake is going to be. And I know sometimes we all feel like, I'm famished, I've got to eat something.
Right.
And sometimes that can depend on how we're feeling throughout the day or our
That's a
mood.
good point. As a matter of fact, he talks about mood in there.
Yeah, and one of the other books that we showcased on one of our other episodes talked about the feeling of whether you're depressed, happy, sad, and foods that we associate with that. For example, depressed, and you just broke up with your significant other, so you're sitting on the couch watching some old episode of something
Right.
with your pint of very high caloric intake ice cream.
Right. And you could substitute that ice cream
Sure
for
could.
yogurt.
You sure could.
Couldn't you do that?
Yeah.
And so that's what we're talking about when we say watching the calories.
Mhm.
It's really important to watch the calories and
Yeah.
count them
Count 'em.
so that
No.
you do make healthy choices
You
by
bet.
keeping it simple
And simplistic.
and simplistic. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
That was funny.
Hey, Couch, let's go to the farm.
You could use the fresh air and exercise.
Must play game. What happened?
Let's go to the farm. Let's go. Let's go.
What can we do at a farm?
I'll show you.
Wow, I didn't know I could have this much fun without pushing buttons. I'm finally getting feeling back in my thumb. Bonus.
It's cool.
It's sweet. Fresh from the farm.
Let's eat. Let's go to a farm.
Welcome back.
So Betty, what's up next? What do we have?
We have the recipe for this chef.
Oh, good.
And I don't know about you, but I love portobello mushrooms.
I love portobello mushrooms. You bet.
And this is called Portobello Surprise. So I want to share it with everybody
Sure.
because it is amazing. Not only is it amazing, but it's low in calories
Good.
because it's all about vegetables.
Well, and the portobello mushrooms being high in antioxidants.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here you're going to take portobello mushrooms.
Okay.
You're going to have fresh beets with the stalks. You're going to have celery, include the stalks, kale, collard greens. Have you
Awesome.
ever had collard greens?
Oh yeah, I'm from Southwest Missouri.
I was going to say,
Oh yeah.
that's such a southern thing. We love our collard greens.
bet.
And so many people grow them in their garden.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually have had the fresh collard greens right out of the garden.
Right.
You're going to add broccoli, zucchini. That's another thing that I love. This is the yellow zucchini, carrots, parsley, and now we come to the flavors. The parsley, the sage, rosemary, thyme, bay leaf, allspice, sea salt, and cilantro.
I love allspice.
Yes.
Yeah.
It really does.
Well, it adds a lot.
Adds a lot.
Adds a lot.
And so what you do is you actually clean and cut the beets.
Okay.
You're going to dice the red beet stalks, separate the broccoli heads from the stalk, and then you're going to chop the stalk into coin-sized shapes.
Now, why are we going to do that? I throw that stuff away.
I know, and so many people do,
Yeah.
but I tell you, the flavor and the nutrition that are in those stalks is amazing.
You know, I can see where there would be nutrition in the stalks. I mean, because that's what's feeding the pretty stuff that we like to keep, right? The, the heads of
right,
the broccoli, the
right.
crowns of the broccoli,
Right.
and the celeries, and but yeah, so that
And the
makes sense.
stalk has all of this nutrition in it. As a matter of
Wow.
fact, it really is the best part for you.
Seems kind of silly to throw it away, then, doesn't it?
You know, and what's funny too is that if you were to try it, you know, eat it raw, it wouldn't be as flavorful.
Yeah.
But by adding all of these wonderful spices to it, and then what you're going to do is you're going to cook the beets, the stalks, and the from the broccoli in water first
Okay.
with a small handful of the sea salt.
Oh yeah.
And while that's cooking, you're going to cut up your greens, and you're going to dice those up really good. That kale and collards, I can
bet.
almost taste this
Yeah, me
already.
too.
And you're going to add that to the boiling water
Okay.
and cover and simmer. How easy is the sounding so far?
Simple and
Simplistic?
yeah, I think so.
Okay. Now you're going to add the rest of the herbs and spices and simmer that until it's tender.
I'll bet that's going to make the whole house smell good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And now you're going to cut up the mushrooms after you've cleaned them
Oh,
and
yeah.
place them on top
Forgot about
of
the portobello
yeah,
mushrooms.
that's the surprise.
There you go.
You're going to cut that up and cover that over the vegetables
Okay.
and simmer that a little bit more, like 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
And that's when you're going to serve it up.
Oh wow.
And guess how many calories are in this
Per serving?
per serving?
I'm going to guess no more than 400.
How about 250?
That's awesome.
Isn't it? I mean, 250 calories.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good soup.
Heck yeah.
And I tell you, I love soups during the cold weather.
I do
but
too.
this is one I would eat all year round.
I do too. And you know, there's this cabbage recipe that I used a couple of years ago.
Okay.
It was for a cabbage soup. And it had a lot of those ingredients
soup.
in there. It was a 10-day, and you could probably Google this and find it on the internet. It was a 10-day cabbage soup diet. And that's all
What?
you ate during the day. But you could eat as much of this cabbage soup as you could make
Wow.
for 10 days.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and I dropped 10 pounds in 10 days off this very flavorful cabbage soup.
And I like cabbage.
I do too. I love portobello mushrooms. That's a great recipe.
And we have all these different vegetables, which they say we're supposed to have this many servings of vegetables every day.
That's right. And you know, they always talk about with vegetables, the best way to make them, prepare them is steaming them, right?
Yes.
Now, what I like about this, and I runs in my own little scientific, you know, because I'm a PhD in nothing, but sounds to me like when you lay that large cap portobello mushroom
Oh, yeah.
over those vegetables that you're steaming, doesn't it seem to figure that that nutrition is going to be caught, trapped by that
yes.
large cap portobello mushroom?
And
You're actually trapping those
absolutely
nutrients
right. And
that you
it-
might lose otherwise.
Right, and you know what? That portobello mushroom, I really see that as a substitute for meat.
It's a big, thick steak.
Because
isn't it?
it's to me, it tastes as good as a steak.
Absolutely.
In many ways.
Texture.
Yeah, the texture is wonderful.
Yeah.
And the flavor, oh, love it.
Yeah.
Love it. And so if you think about serving it in nice soup bowl
Mm-hmm.
and putting that portobello mushroom
Over the
on
top.
of those vegetables.
Oh, that sounds good. Slicing into that thing like a Big old thick juicy steak.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, and I like the sea salt that's in that recipe because, they tell us regular
Right.
salt is just, it's all sodium, whereas the sea salt is incredibly, significantly lower in sodium.
And I've noticed that in some of the restaurants now, there actually are certain sea salt.
They offer it, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
I saw that the other day when I was at a restaurant.
That's
and
awesome.
I thought, this is great.
Yeah.
This
yeah.
is great. And it tastes just as good.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Right. So again, we want to keep those vegetables because there's so many great ingredients prevent cancer.
Yeah.
I think we have so many processed foods
We
that
sure
we
do.
forget that if we make healthy foods like that and just continue to add that to our diet.
Buy them in bulk at the farmer's market.
Exactly.
Support your local farmers and
that's
shops
a
and
great
distributors.
idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So you're really accomplishing 2 goals.
Many. Many.
Well, actually, you're right.
Yeah.
Many more goals.
And one of the things that I liked about making that big old pot of soup
Yes.
is that I could divide that up into different containers.
That's what we do.
And every time I was sitting on the couch thinking, hey, it's halftime, I need to go grab a bag of chips or something, just go grab a container of soup, warm it up again. You can eat as much of that stuff as you
Right,
want.
Right. And that's what we do at our house. We actually will freeze soups
Smart.
in small enough containers that we can just pop it out anytime, stick it in the microwave.
Family on the go.
This has been wonderful.
Great show today, great book, great recipes.
And now we're going to take a break.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Everybody, hope you enjoyed the show today. Betty, we had such great things that you brought out on the
I
table.
know. Wasn't the box a surprise?
The box is always a surprise, the contents of the box, and I really love the crystals.
Absolutely.
they're
And I
really
think that
awesome.
the fact that they have healing powers
Mm-hmm.
and bring that positive sun energy into the home
Incredible and decorative, just like the bottles
and decorate.
that we talked
Yeah,
about.
Absolutely. And the book that we talked about, people
Yeah.
can absolutely keep that in their car, in their purses.
Great
take
idea.
it whenever they go out so they know exactly how many calories they're taking in.
Great they can make then great decisions based on solid information.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's no longer a surprise. And the nice
Right.
thing is that all of the fast food places now
Mm-hmm.
are really taking that next step and to make sure that we have healthy choices.
They are, and they put it on the menus. You can actually go online and find that information for the different restaurants. But this is so much more convenient just to have it right there with
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely.
And as we talked about before, this is the 2009 edition, but the 2012 edition will be online.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
please make sure that you do that, that you take it and